Welcome. In this video, we're going to be unboxing a prototype of Pipe Creek, Meade's Last Stand. This was designed by Claude Whalen and is an expansion to the award-winning Most Fearful Sacrifice designed by Herman Luttman, which depicts the 3 days at Gettysburg. Pipe Creek is currently on sale in our store for $50, which is $10 off the MSRP. It will go up to the full MSRP when we get it in stock. Right now, like I said, Pipe Creek is a pre-order. This is a prototype just to get everybody excited for what's coming. So like I said, we're going to be going through the box, seeing what's inside, seeing what you get, and talking about what Pipe Creek is and how you can add it and play with the Most Fearful Sacrifice. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, so in the box, you're going to get this huge box to start with gorgeous art on it. You're going to get a rule book that includes new rules for the Spencer rifle and then also for cavalry. You'll get 4 new scenarios, which we'll get more in depth about in just a minute. You'll get one 31 by 40-inch mounted map. You'll get new counters that are in the Most Fearful Sacrifice style. You will also get 2 very large player aid cards with terrain effects chart and also combat results table. And then you're also going to get new activation cards and March to the Sound of the Guns cards. So Pipe Creek is made up of 4 different what-if scenarios. If you go into the rulebook on page 14, there are these great designer notes that Claude left that gives a little bit more insight into his inspiration for this game, a lot of which comes from Rick Barber. And the map in this game is based on Rick Barber's drawings of this area. And Claude goes into more detail on how that inspired him and how he took it and created this game based on some of Rick's ideas as well. So these 4 what-if scenarios are really interesting, 2 of which are actually about the Confederates' attack on July 2nd being successful, and Meade is deciding to pull back to his pre-planned line. The 3rd scenario is completely up to the players and has Meade refusing to fight at Gettysburg and making his stand at Pipe Creek with a fresh army. And then the 4th scenario is actually played on the maps of a Most Fearful Sacrifice and allows gamers to replay Pickett's charge, but make it more significantly powerful. Longstreet didn't expect or didn't think that 15,000 men could break the Union line, but what if Lee had given him 23,000 troops? Is that enough manpower for Longstreet to be successful? And then you also, in this, you get to replay the In Magnificent Style scenario in a Most Fearful Sacrifice using additional regiments supplied in Pipe Creek, and you get to find out what would happen. So these what-if scenarios are really interesting topics that you get to play through using Pipe Creek with a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So like I said, a few times you do have to have a Most Fearful Sacrifice to play Pipe Creek. It is an expansion to a Most Fearful Sacrifice. All right, so here we have the rule book, which contains the scenario book as well. I love how the art wraps around on the back. We don't always get to do that, but we got to do this with this game. It starts off with a really great historical background here, and it goes into a little bit more depth about these what-if scenarios and the inspiration that came from them. It goes through the game components. So for those of you who are really interested in seeing the different counters and what are on the counters, it's all laid out for you on page 3 of the rulebook. I'll give you some close-ups of this as well. The way the rules are laid out, like I said, it's an expansion to a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So these rules are going to be supplemental to a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So it's not going to go into detail about some of the things like sequence of play, obviously, because you already have the rules for a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So these are supplemental to that. And any changes that are made in Pipe Creek are going to be in this rule book. The bulk of the rulebook changes are going to be with the cavalry movement and cavalry combat rules, which are starting on page 6. And so you have all of those listed here in the same formatting style as a Most Fearful Sacrifice. And then you also, like I said, we have rules for the Spencer rifle under fire combat on page 4. So those 4 what-if scenarios are going to be in the back of the rulebook as opposed to having a separate scenario book. And here you get, like I said, it's laid out in the same style as the Most Fearful Sacrifice, same formatting. So you get these great helpful pictures of what portion of the map you're going to be using. They're pretty much all using the whole map except for scenario 4. And it's laid out with the same kind of timetable that you would get with the Most Fearful Sacrifice, and when the Friction of War cards are added are in blue, just like the base game that you're playing this with. It's really easy to understand, especially if you are very familiar with Most Fearful Sacrifice. This is going to feel familiar to you, and it's going to be easy to pick up and start playing these really interesting what-if scenarios for Pipe Creek. All right, so with Pipe Creek, you're going to get all of these new cards. Now, what I like about this is that obviously you have to play it with the Most Fearful Sacrifice. So the backs of the cards are going to look just like the cards you get. They're going to be identical to Most Fearful Sacrifice, since these cards are being shuffled in with those, and you wouldn't want one to stick out. That would kind of, take away the secrecy of the command deck. But on the bottom of the card, in the bottom right corner, you do have PC there, so that you can differentiate between what was the base game and what is Pipe Creek. You might already be able to know that because of the new troops that are added in. But, still having that PC symbol in the bottom right-hand corner is really helpful. Also with Pipe Creek, you're going to be getting new counters for the units, for the additional units added into this game. Like I said, this is a prototype, so the final counters that we're going to have are going to be identical to the Most Fearful Sacrifice ones. This is just a prototype so that you guys can see what we have. I'll give some more close-up shots of this, but they're gorgeous. Same awesome immersive art that you expect from us and also from this series, and great colors. I've always really enjoyed the art on these. This is some of my favorite counters to look at when playing. So in the game, you're also going to get this awesome player aid card. Like I said, this is a prototype, so the final is actually going to be a little bit smaller than this, but you still get a good idea of how clear everything is, all the information that you're going to get in the same style as a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So this is all going to be very familiar to all of you who are Most Fearful Sacrifice fans, and it's going to be really easy to pick up and play. All right, lastly, in this unboxing, we have the gorgeous, huge mounted map that is in the style of Rick Barber. Unfortunately, as I'm sure many of you knew, that Rick Barber passed away, and so this map style is inspired by Rick Barber and is done by Jose Faura, who does such a great job. He's going to be doing all of the art, or he has done all of the art for Rock of Chickamauga as well. And we've used him for a long time, and he's an awesome artist, and he's really doing a good job paying tribute to Rick's style of map making with Pipe Creek and also with the Rock of Chickamauga. So like I said, this is a huge map. It is a 31 by 40 inch mounted map. One of the scenarios, like I said, you actually play with the Most Fearful Sacrifice map. But this one also comes, this game, even though it's only $50, which is a pretty good deal for all the stuff that you get in this box. You get the huge map and the counters, the cards, the new scenarios, the new rules, the new player aid cards, and so it's a really great deal. But yeah, it's a big, gorgeous map with awesome art. Jose just did a really great job. Thanks again for watching this video on this unboxing of the prototype for Pipe Creek. Like I said, you also get this awesome, gorgeous box with this great art on it. In the store right now, it is $10 off. Once we get it in stock, which is going to be later this year, it is going to go back up to its full MSRP, which is going to be $60. But right now it's on sale for $50. So like I said, this is an expansion to a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So you will need to get a Most Fearful Sacrifice or already have it to be able to play Pipe Creek. We already have quite a few pre-orders for this. But if you haven't placed your pre-order, go ahead and do that so that you can get the deal. When you do place the pre-order for this, payment will be processed at that time, but any other items that are in stock in your order with Pipe Creek will be shipped when Pipe Creek comes in stock. This saves everybody on shipping costs, saves you guys money on shipping costs, and that's why we do this. But I just wanted to let you know that whenever you place an order for Pipe Creek with another item in our store that is in stock, they will be shipped at the same time. So in addition to Pipe Creek, we do have some other Most Fearful Sacrifice extras available in the store if you're interested, like the border strips, which I really like. We do have a mouse pad. We have some dice. We have the Stonewall Lives cards, which are really fun to add back into a Most Fearful Sacrifice. So thanks again for watching this unboxing video. We're really excited to get this game out, and we're really excited to have the Rock of Chickamauga go to crowdfunding really soon. It's such a great series. Claude did a great job on this game. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.